Greg. Thank you, Gunnar. Those are beautiful things to say. Pat was also making fun of you both, probably. So I want to thank the city of Hillsdale. I don't know if there's anybody here from the city, but they let us build a little nearer. Oh, Highland. The city manager's here. We're going to build this a little nearer the street than is normal, and it makes it so there'll be a really great entryway. I'm grateful to you for that. I thank the people from Rockford. I thank Mr. Pee Wee, who's going to oversee them. And I thank the Clark and Searle families. Come to find out, I knew that those were great families before I knew any member of them. And the reason is I'm lucky to know, for a long time now, Don Rumsfeld, who ran G.D. Searle for 8 years, I think, in the late 70s and to the mid-80s. And he's a very great man. He's actually speaking at an event for the college in Dearborn in 2 weeks. And he is one of the best, sharpest people I know. And he's got this interesting career. He was in public service, you know, in very high places. And by report, from good authority, Ronald Reagan came within an inch of asking him to be his running mate in 1980, and the history of the country would be different if he had done that thing. Better, I think. And one night I had a long talk with Don Rumsfeld. I've had many. I'm glad to say Don Rumsfeld is a significant donor to the college, by the way. And he's giving us money that he made running G.D. Searle. So those people are all over this place these days. And I said to him, what was that like, I said, running that company? And he said, well, it was unusual. He said, I don't think corporate life is normally like that. And I said, why? And he said, that family is just great. And I marked that down and remembered it. And it was years later that I met anybody from that family. And I thanked them for what they are, what they've done. The brilliant Sally Clark, somebody had the good sense to ask her what we should say about her parents. So I've struck out about 2/3 of it because it's only important that I know it. According to Sally, Louise says, I think that Hillsdale College thinks outside the box, and I think the Searle family is also a group not to follow the normal paths that families tend to take. The Searle family strives to be good citizens, but will fight the establishment if their freedoms are taken away. The family works to keep its business and philanthropy at a grassroots level, not just leaving these things to paid professionals. Hillsdale also runs on personal relationships. Sally says that Louise's father, her grandfather, Louise's, father, Sally's grandfather, liked and respected our college. The Clark children, I've now met all of them, I think, and 3 of them are here today, and they're all, they don't like this, right? But I'm going to say it anyway. My children don't like it either. They are all alike. There's some character and some stubbornness in them, and thank you. It's worth thinking, why would we need to build a big old dining hall that looks like that? It's not for the students. It used to be the students' dining hall. Wasn't really very good for that for various reasons, although it was serviceable, and thank God for it, because what would we have done without it? But as soon as we could, we built something with better acoustics and higher ceilings and more light and better capacity. And now that's there. And so students are not really needed. They don't need that room. And that room is going to hold 800 people? 1,000?
About 800.
About 800, yeah. I always ask Mr. Pee Wee, he knows. And who's going to come there? Why are they going to come there? Because, our town is not very big. I don't know if it ever has a banquet with 800 people in it. And the answer is they're going to come from everywhere. They do now. Last year, on the campus, 7,000 people came to visit. And the reason it wasn't 12,000 is we don't have any room. We need to expand the hotel space of the campus. We need the auditorium to get bigger. We need to build our chapel, for which we've been given half a gift. We need to build some space around here for people who want to live near the campus so they can build some places. We need all that. And why do we need all that? Because, as you know, we who live here know, it's dang cold up here. And the shopping is not very good. The Searles are Michigan people, and Sally said to me, she said, I think she's just from Naples, just been there, and she's going to the Bahamas tomorrow, is that right? And she said, I said, it's a hard life, and she said, somebody's got to do it, right? Why aren't all those people who are coming here, why aren't they going there instead? Well, you heard the answer. What both Greg and Gunnar talked about is what they've learned here. You know what I value about my job the most? The single best thing? I learn a lot. And I don't mean by that the excitement of lots of variety and knowing lots of curiosities. There's a certain kind of thing a person can know. And that thing tells you what you are and what you are to do. And anything that has that quality, and there are so many things like that. In the American story, this facade is going to look like the front of Central Hall. And I was saying in there, Central Hall was dedicated on the 4th of July in 1853, and that's not because it was Thursday. And the facade, the front of Central Hall, is in the Italianate Renaissance style, which is a derivation of the federal style from the founding of the United States. And that isn't an accident either. And so when they started this institution of learning, this second president of the college made a speech. We have the text to it. It's very lovely. No one could improve on it. Certainly I cannot. And it's about the Declaration of Independence. And there's something beautiful about that thing, isn't there? My brother-in-law is a Hungarian, a honky as I call him. And did you know that in the Hungarian Revolution of 1956, the year that his family fled the country and he came here, that the last thing taken by the Soviets that shut it down, and think about the Ukraine today. Think about what's going on there. Think about the fact that 2 months ago students were streaming into a square to be shot. And the last thing they broadcast on that radio, they had it on a loop, was a reading of the Declaration of Independence. Do you see what it means if there are laws of nature and of nature's God? It means that you could know them. And if you could know them, you would have the capacity to guide your life in their direction. So, Gunnar, friend Gunnar, wonderful man Gunnar, and a working colleague Gunnar. I know Gunnar really well now. And so he reminded me when I was about to go over and say hi to Searle that I should say hi to Becca too, because Becca didn't come to this college and she's proud of it and she thinks we forget about her. Now, why did I disclose that to you? Because it shows something. Gunnar loves Becca. And he would not want me to forget her, even though I know Sally really well. And that means that Gunnar is occupying the station of a father. And that is like having the dominion of a monarch. He bears the responsibility for these children. They ask him things, he must give them answers. If something happens to them, he will be devastated. He mustn't live their lives for them. Proud that they're independent. I mean, to the point of cussedness, by the way. Proud of that. Doesn't want them to do anything except excel and grow and be great. And tend to them and watch them and long for them to do that all his life. I'm just finishing a book about Winston Churchill. And the socialists took over toward the end of Churchill's career, and he fought them all his life. And by the way, he entered Parliament the same year that the Socialist Party was born. And in the third to the last election he ever fought, they overwhelmed him and set up the first socialist government. Terrible disappointment, a failure in his life. And he just kept fighting against it. And he got a huge opportunity because there was a minister in the socialist government by the name of Douglas Jay. And here's what he thinks. And by the way, read the newspaper and you will see this everywhere. He said, there's a lot of expertise now about child nutrition. And so mothers don't really know, as well as experts and trained people know, what their children should eat. The gentleman in Whitehall, Whitehall is the name for the governing center of Britain, the gentlemen in Whitehall know better. You see what that means? Cleve's back there, you know, his third kid's coming here next year. And his third kid, like the first two, are among the best tennis players in Ohio in high school. And we don't even have a tennis program. And all three, for boys anyway, all three of those kids made really top scores. They're Sydney, high Sydney. And the thing is, Cleves dies for those kids to come here. But more than that, he dies for them to be well. And what if it were true that some trained expert was better qualified to raise the Delp children, or the Clark children, or the Searle children, or the Arnn children than we, their parents? Because that is the doctrine. And that doctrine is coupled with the idea that what we have discovered is that there are no such things as the laws of nature and of nature's God. There's only expertise now. And because that can be centralized, then the control over everything can be centralized. And we reach the answer now. Why would people come and stay in that place? They come to behold the beautiful things in respect to which they are qualified to live fully human lives as mothers and fathers and husbands and wives and grandparents and daughters and sons, as entrepreneurs, as people who make their living and guide their lives and raise their families. And we find the things beautiful that help us do that. Those are the things that move us to tears. Now, there's a great motion underway here in this little place. It's very strange. It's the largest thing of its kind in the college world by provable numbers in recent memory, anywhere in the nation. What's causing that? What made them, because we talk about the things we want to do. We almost never ask anybody for money at Hillsdale College, and I never asked Gunnar Clark for the money for this. He heard, and he saw, and he perceived with the same soul. Did you hear his talk? I don't know anything he doesn't know. And he said, this is a fine thing. Let us assist. That means, by the way, that the love of the good and the beautiful is a compelling force. And wherever it rises, it produces overwhelming results. And we are sitting amidst those results right now, and we are watching them unfold. And that is happening in an age where there is every attempt to destroy, is the word, to diminish, to eradicate them with a power that claims to make everything perfect. So think of the commitment. We're saying no to that. And that means we're prepared to stand in its way. And it is powerful. And it will seek to run over us. Let it try. We will win our honor and serve our good and our God in resistance to it. Thank you.